What's good? Sunset Bad with another video. So I'm shooting this one in the garage, right? And the weather is starting to get colder. And even though the weather is getting colder, even though I was born in the summer, I'm West Indian. So it's like my body's built for heat and those type of environments, as most people are who are melanated, but really we can thrive in any environment. But the point I wanted to make is that and semen retention, like I've said in my previous video, is that as you abstain and you maintain that energy, you're reconnecting to nature, right? So even though the weather is getting colder, I still have an inclination to want to be outside. It's like fuck the cold. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't really like cold weather, it's just like it's not inhibiting me. You know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to entitle this video is semen retention and spiritual freedom. Essentially, you want to get to that point where you can inhabit your body and be comfortable in any space and any environment, right? Once you build up your spiritual body and you have uh, a greater sense of being able to block out negative energy and things like that, like you're more in control of yourself, so you're able to dictate how the energies essentially affect you when you go into a certain space. You're more likely to, though you're moving free, more free form, you're in a much better position to set boundaries and move according with them, right? You develop a greater sense of integrity. You know what I'm saying? And so with semen retention and whatnot, with semen retention, you are essentially integrating, you're reintegrating that sexual energy that you had gotten accustomed to expelling through PMO, you know? And so that shadow self is something that is being brought to the surface, right? Being brought to the surface. All of those desires and emotions and things that you used to suppress is now coming back to be addressed and to be released, right? So like that's on a more metaphysical level. But the same goes for your sexual energy. When you think about with animals, because we are just another form of animal. We are the human animal. We are human. All right. But when you think about animals being in heat, we are in heat too. So when you maintain that energy, it enhances your heat body and the heat that you give off, alongside with your aura and your energy that's being amplified. So is your overall body heat, right? And that also plays a part in just the physicality and the magnetism. You know what I'm saying? Because you see the glow on my face and everything. I'm outside in the garage, So when we talk about spiritual freedom, to be free is to be complete in that peace with yourself, right? You're able to move fluidly through any space and environment that you so choose, and you don't feel inadequate. You don't feel like something is missing. You don't feel as if you're empty or there's a void that needs to be filled. You are a complete person. So when we talk about a high value individual, what first makes you high value is that is you feeling complete, and you not feeling as if there is lack, or you're having to overcompensate for some sort of deficiency or lack thereof, right? When you do that self-development, when you're working on self-development and you understand yourself on a deep level, as I said, that enhances your value. What makes you valuable is that you're complete within your own self. You don't feel like you need a woman to give you a sense of purpose and value. You know what I'm saying? It's all attained on that inward level. You feel me? So we know that the spiritual rules the physical, and everything that comprises of the physical is first. Everything that comprises of the physical is first manifest in the spiritual. So when we think about manifestation, it's first an idea, and then it becomes a material. You know what I'm saying? So spiritual freedom. You know, you want to be free from porn. You want to be free from being ruled by your sexual desires and not being able to just be happy without women and without having sex constantly on the brain. You know what I'm saying? You want to experience a different side of life that's you're more present. You're able to go outside and just enjoy, you know, just enjoy what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy being one with your environment and everything that's around it. You know what I'm saying? Finding that happiness from within, you know. And see, when we talk about like the law of attraction when it comes to semen retention and all of that shit comes from you being complete and you being confident and you giving out the energy. You know, you maintaining the idea in your head of what you want to manifest or what you want to create, and actively working towards that end result. You feel me? And so, you know, when guys come across semen retention and they realize that they have a problem, it's like, yeah, man, you probably been masturbating for 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And the beginning stages of breaking out of that habit is very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just because of all of that energy being reintegrated into the body, it's like that's why you can go to bed at 2 a.m. and still wake up at like 7 with all this energy, because the body has that extra reservoir of energy that you had been expelling, which it would, if you had not been engaging in porn and masturbation, you would have just been that high energy person. Is something that you are naturally. You feel what I'm saying? You're not this drained, depressed, low frequency, low energy having individual. You get me? Like you're somebody who vibrates higher. You feel me? And a person who vibrates high is in tune with themselves. They're aligned with themselves. You feel me? They're not being dictated and controlled by just the material aspect or the physical aspect of things. You're a self-regulating, autonomous, sovereign being. You rule over yourself. That's spiritual freedom. Rule over yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is that you want. You do what you need to do so that you can figure out how to attain it by gaining knowledge, doing research, studying all spiritual systems, not being bound by one. You know, I have a spiritual system that I practice, but that's ancestral. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bound by it because it was something that we as individuals, when we go back to being living in oneness with the universe and oneness with nature, you had a system that kept you in tune with that. And that wasn't a religion as people define it today. Religion is not natural. Having a way of life is natural, and they try to hide that under religion, but religion is dogma. Like when you think about originally living an original way of life and living, that gives you all of the things that you need to survive and thrive as a being in tune with nature. Not all of these beliefs in prophets and messiahs and this and that and all of that. It's like, yeah, they have their place, but in the grand scheme of things, ain't none of them prophets telling you how to cook or how to clean or how to take care of yourself. But those individuals who are deemed as prophets, when you look at certain things that they bring in the knowledge that they give, those that speak about harnessing your sexual energy and using that as a source of self-development, that's key. You know, like that's key. That's key information. Studying Taoism, Buddhism, and Hinduism, and understanding Tantra, because semen retention is it's an aspect of Tantra. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, with semen retention, man, one of those things that you want to gain from it is that peace of mind, that peace of being one with the self. You feel me? Like, being able to love yourself for who you are and not being caught up in and the opinions of the world telling them that you should be this or that way, that you should look this way or carry yourself this way. Now, when it comes to living in accordance with nature, that's imperative because there's certain spiritual laws that if you violate them on a consistent basis, you're not going to succeed in life and you're not going to be able to thrive and you just won't be successful. Like and at the same time, you won't be able to survive. You will die if you don't pay respect to these laws. And people try to jump, skip steps and without recognizing that there's certain things that because you were engaging in PMO, you disrupted a certain balance. So now it's like a rite of passage to get back in tune with that. You got to go through the rite of passage. You got to go through that process of weeding out and clearing out and reorganizing your life so that you can ultimately be free. So then when we apply that energy towards practical matters, what are we talking about? Like building your credit, you know what I'm saying? Getting your finances in order, cultivating a healthy lifestyle when it comes to food and all of these things are masculine in essence when we're talking about developing order and structure and finding that balance. Because a lot of guys who are engaging in PMO, they don't have any respect for their own masculine energy. You're not right with you're not right with your masculine energy and you're not right with the feminine energy. And that's the thing, being aligned with both of them and understanding how they are regulating our lives in terms of those energies. You feel me? So yeah, man, that's what I wanted to talk about in this video today, man. Spiritual freedom. Semen retention helps cultivate spiritual freedom. And that can only be found within you. You feel me? And this knowledge has been on the earth since its creation, because we as human beings, and we have gone through many different forms, but us as human beings, there are certain laws that rule the universe. Same laws rule our being, and we have to respect those laws. You have to respect those laws. And so one of those things that you will be doing on this journey is understanding principles. You feel me? Understanding your core values. And when we're talking about principles, we're not talking about beliefs. We're talking about ways in which you view the world that are in accordance with your soul and your intuition, and how you speak your voice and embody your truth. And that is all tied to your soul purpose on this earth and what you're set out to do, what you're here to accomplish, what you agreed to do when you were born, And it's like, shoot, we want financial freedom. Some of us want an abundance of opportunities and an abundance of an abundance of those things that really reflect who we are, give us a sense of happiness. But all of these things first start within. You know what I'm saying? And just to tie it back to what I was saying in the beginning, because sometimes I start thinking all sorts of type of shit. But abundance is a state of being. To be abundant is to be spiritually free. It's to be bound by nothing. It's to be complete within your own self. It's to know that there are no limits to possibilities and resources. We live in a society that's contradictory in the sense that there's all of this, but there's so many options, but yet there's so much lack. So what is it? It's either one or the other, or it's not. You know what I'm saying? So you are having to come to that truth within yourself. Semen retention, as you do that, you find your spiritual freedom. You understand who you are, what you need to do to maintain a balance with yourself and maintain that relationship with yourself, to be true to yourself. And that is started at the foundation of your principles. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have principles and you don't know what you stand for, and you can't give explicit details as to what you stand for and why, and speak on it from an intelligent mindset, not from a pseudo woke mentality, but from actually knowing what you're speaking on, from having to take the time from having took the time to study, do research, and then go within. You know, because it's all about success. It's all about achieving success. You feel me? Remember, man. Remember your soul. Honor your